Yeah, what diamonds?
Did you empty out my wood?
What wood? You had wood?
Oh my
I thought you
I
only
don't know.
had
We
beef.
took a lot of shit from that chest, so.
I thought you only had beef. Your name is Beef. I
No,
thought you only
I'm
had
starting a
beef.
shop to sell wood.
You're setting up a shop to sell wood?
Yeah.
That's actually really smart.
That's actually... I didn't think that that was going to be a thing. Are you going to create like a tree farm?
Yeah, and I'm gonna set up a little base in there. 2 stacks of 2 stacks equals 1 diamond. That's how I'm selling it.
That's not a bad exchange rate. I mean, if you really think about it. How many stacks do you think how many stacks of gunpowder is 1 diamond worth, in your opinion?
Dude, fucking gunpowder can be hard to find.
Yeah, I think, well, it depends on, like, if you are getting it just randomly, then, you know, it's worth a lot.
If I'm selling it to you.
Gunpowder stacks to 64, right? Not 16?
Yes, it stacks to 64.
But if you're getting gunpowder from a mob farm...
You don't have to know where it's coming from, bitch. Don't ask me about my fucking supply chain. Don't ask about my supply chain. It doesn't depreciate shit.
Value.
I can be like a diamond hoarder.
No,
and
because
withhold...
that's because there's not a way to grind diamond. Because it's just like the U.S. economy, right? If you print more money.
No, not true. Because the diamond economy, we have a very clear example as to why am I disappearing?
Yeah, because
I'm like fucking disappearing over here. What is going on?
There's a finite amount of diamonds in the world.
But the amount of the amount of diamonds that they have in the world is not equal to the amount that they're selling. That's how that
it's
works.
Literally like printing money. It's literally like printing money.
Your mom's printing money. Nothing. You got nothing to say. It.
Such a bad business plan.
You're a business plan.
Your business plan is gonna fail, and I'm.
All right. So again, for a stack of gunpowder, I don't know. I don't really use gunpowder, so I don't really know how much.
But think about late game elytra people.
I'd say 1 stack of gunpowder for 1 diamond.
1 gunpowder, 1 diamond. I can do that.
One stack.
A stack.
Yeah, that's why I said 1 stack of gunpowder, 1 diamond.
No. You said 1 gunpowder.
You said 1
diamond.
gunpowder.
Well, I didn't think it was actually 1 gunpowder. Like, come on.
Somebody clip it.
Somebody clip it.
Then clip it.
No. 1 stack.
You're a stack. Is this my... Wow, what a kind person. Look how... Jesus Christ, look how nice this person is. Death Rage gave me this...
I don't have the stream open.
It's so nice how he put this together. Like vines on the exterior 4 corners, then the diamond 4 corners are diorite, and then gold. What a nice person. Look at this.
Oh, you're at your base? So kind, sir.
Alright, now I shall make it all into polished diorite. Wow.
You guys ever had a pretzel, but it's like dipped in like birthday cake, like flavored or whatever the hell they fucking dip chocolate pretzels in?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
no
on that.
Can't say I have at all, ever.
I gotta say, it doesn't taste good.
It doesn't sound good. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to ever do that to yourself again.
I wanted to snack on something. I'm like, oh, pretzels, and I saw these. And like, oh, I'm gonna have these taste.
Oh, they're like dry pretzels.
Yeah, it's like the normal pretzel twist, you know, that like.
Oh, but it's like birthday cake.
But it's dipped in it says here dipped in white chocolate.
Hey, can we
and
sleep?
Rainbow sprinkles.
Yeah, I'll sleep right now.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
That sounds extremely unappealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm still eating them because I bought them, and you know, no regrets.
Actually, what it sounds like is you're having regrets.
Yeah, can you fucking sleep, please?
Yeah, I can't. I'm at work right now.
No, not you.
All right, beautiful.
So, when is this podcast starting?
That's right now. We're already on.
Oh,
You're actually you're actually our first
we-
guest. So can we tell you
Are we
Beef?
live?
We are live. Beef. Can you tell
got me
me
for 2 minutes.
can you tell me directly in 2 minutes how the coronavirus has affected you personally, and can you tell me also what you
I think
do?
we should restart the stream.
What you do?
I didn't know we were alive.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. We're just doing an intro. It's all
And
good.
what we would do, and what I what?
Like what you do for a living, so that way we can understand like the way it's
Alright,
affected
so,
you.
Right now, I'm a college student. I go to community college, and I'm working a part-time job at a Whole Foods. And so
For those of us
these
that
bu-
don't know what Whole Foods are, if it's not in
it's
your
a
area,
grocery store.
it's a no. It's a
Hey,
foofy ass,
you got me for one
bougie
minute,
ass
alright?
grocery store.
Yeah, you got me for one more fucking minute, okay? And so grocery store is an essential business. I don't know how you call this place essential, but it is.
Well, people need fucking
and-
food, you asshole.
Yeah, but I mean it's Whole Foods. You go to fucking Walmart.
Yeah.
See,
But they like
people
their
need bougie ass food.
Yeah.
Anyways, so school's been canceled until actually starting tomorrow. My school starts making everyone do online classes, which is
Oh.
going to be a real challenge because one of my teachers is old, like very old. Can't do that much.
One of my teachers is like old.
I don't know her age. I don't want to call her out or anything.
But you're
She doesn't
calling
like
her out.
technology that much, and I don't know how she's doing this. She just sent us email to tell us to work on our final essay and send her paragraphs every time we finish it. Sorry about the noise. I'm outside. And every time we finish a paragraph, send it to her so she can revise it. And that's kind of like a complete different learning curve than what we were doing, which is where we'd go through it in class or whatever. And then my other teacher is just kind of my cinema teacher was like, oh, here are the links to the movies, watch these, and take the test whenever you want to. You got to finish them before the end of the year. And then I'm doing video conferences for my final class, which is game development, which is also really annoying to do because most of the students there only have single monitors, so it's hard for them to have the teacher's view and their coding program up at the same time. So that's actually a real struggle for them as well. And everyone's still trying to figure out how to do this. And then going back to my store, a whole bunch of new policies have been put into place, like social distancing. Everyone has to stand 6 feet apart from each other. Half of our registers are closed because they're too close together, so we have to keep those people separated. And we've been overstaffed because this whole thing hit before our schedules were able to be changed. People from other departments, like prepared foods, where they make the hot foods like the pizza, the soups, chicken, shit like that. They've been moved to our department because Whole Foods doesn't want to just like, oh, hey, sorry, you're out of job.
Well, that's good.
When it first started, I mean, that is good. Thankfully, that they didn't lose their jobs at least. But when it first started, also, it was like Thanksgiving Day for a couple of days in a row where lines were just going straight down to the end of the store for each register. And now we start limiting only 40 people in the store at a time, and we want to let 10 come in and 10 come out.
So you guys are doing one in, one out, too.
No, just 10 in, 10 out.
Yeah,
Groups of 10.
If you do fucking math for a second there,
Um,
why don't you stick to community college, okay?
All right, shut up. And so we also closing an hour early and opening an hour later. And the hour that we normally open at early is elderly shopping only, 60 and up.
Oh, that's
because-
excellent. That's really good that your company is doing that so that they can get in there and get without getting fucking run over a bunch of assholes.
Yes, seriously, and also try to help keep them safe because they don't feel safe when a bunch of other people are around here, and the elderly people know that, hey, if they get COVID-19, they're the most susceptible and most
Right.
likely to die from it.
Right, exactly.
So that's kind of why they did that. Also, every single shopping cart gets sanitized as soon as we bring it back up here, which is good, but also really fucking annoying.
Because one of you has to do it.
Yes, exactly. That's a lot that's changed here. Oh, we have to start wearing gloves. We have to sanitize
Thanks for the
everything.
Twitch Prime, Marky Mark. You're awesome.
The store
Mhm.
was starting to take employees' temperatures now. And if you're above 100.4 degrees, they're sending you home. And
Wow.
they send you home for a couple of days. Yeah.
So
because
that
that's a symptom.
so they've enacted like a medical reason to send you home. So how are they
Yep.
doing that? Do they have a qualified person, or are they just
No,
sticking a
it's,
probe in your
someone
mouth?
someone in prepared foods, you take the thermometer and you hold it 2 inches away from your forehead. You're wearing a glove, of course.
Oh, so they're
and,
doing a
you
temporal
press the
scan.
button.
Wow.
Yeah, but you don't put it on your forehead. They 2 inches away from it.
Yeah, it's a temporal scan. They're doing the same thing at a lot of the ERs that I deliver patients to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing the same
that's
thing
pretty
to us.
interesting. I'm gonna go over my break, but I don't really care that much. No, my job is done. Literally, as soon as we close, I go home. What else has changed?
So
a pay increase as well, exposure pay we've been given as well, $2 extra an hour,
and
then double pay for overtime if you get that as well.
And was that mandatory by like the government, or did Whole Foods elect to do that as a private company?
I believe Whole Foods elected that themselves.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's a good company you work for then. They may be bougie, but at least they're taking care of you.
Now this is all kind of my personal life, not much. Like the whole isolation thing, that's how I live my life normally. So it hasn't really changed that much.
Because you're a fucking
weeb. It's also kind of helping me with my with what I wanted, how I want to pursue like streaming of Twitch and stuff, because it means more people are going to be on there.
Yo, sub to Griggs Beef. He's the beefs. Yeah, Salt and beef. Was there a better fucking combo? Beef. Let's go. Hey, plug that one more time while I'm not stepping all over you.
Twitch.tv /Griggs Beef, GRIGS Beef. And so that's like I streamed the other day for the first time in a while, and I was able to get some new people in there, which is nice. And so that's pretty much what I'm doing with my life, this whole COVID-19 thing going down. Yeah.
So in your opinion, do you think that people have like blown this out of proportion? Do you think that this is something that people aren't taking seriously enough? Like, where are we at in terms of
someone
society?
Who deals with customer service all day, and I always have customers coming down. COVID-19 is either the topic everyone talks about, or they don't acknowledge, like it's taboo. But the people who do talk about it either blow it out of the water extremely badly, or they undertalk it like it's nothing. Like I had a customer complain to us the other day, actually earlier today, that someone else came up to them and was telling them that COVID-19 was a hoax, blah, 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 blah. And the lady tried to get away from her. And the customer who's talking about how it's all hysteria, kept following her to tell her about the whole thing. It's pretty weird. Hey, Carlos, how's it going?
That's whack.
All right. You can have it. I don't care. Yeah. All right. So yeah, and so I do think that it's a little bit blown out of proportion that people are food. But as I hear more and more news about it, like from news sources, not just hearsay from customers, they're a little more concerned.
Oh, lost you, Beef.
Yeah, I think you were cutting out there, Beef.
Yeah, we lost you for a second there.
This has been cool, guys, but I actually have to go back to work now.
Well, we lost like the last half of his disposition there, but that's fine. So that was Beef. You're the shit. Get back to work. Stop fucking twitching on the job, bro.
How the fuck do I leave this? There we go. See ya.
Later. Right. Well, so that was pretty interesting. I guess you could say grocery store people are going to be some of the most affected. That people, I don't think, really saw them being some of the most affected. I think everyone was thinking like, oh, healthcare employees and the types of people that really don't have a choice but to be around it. But we forgot about people who.
If you think about it, all signs point to the most essential workers in the United States right now are the ones that are making minimum wage or pretty close to minimum wage.
Kind of wild how you think about that, huh?
Yeah, and that definitely kind of goes to show you who our essential workers are, and why are we actually paying them this next to nothing minimum wage. And I think it's also funny too, speaking of wages and income and everything like that, now that we have the whole stimulus package going on, and I won't even dive too deep into that because that's just the whole that I don't want to get into. But now that we have the whole stimulus package, right, the thing is $1,200 per person, right? That's what the government's saying that the stipend check's going to be, and everyone's saying, oh, $1,200, that's going to pay like maybe a portion of my rent, if that. And what you have to understand is where the government got that number from.
Here we
go.
They
got that.
Here we go. Conspiracy theory. You ready? It's coming, guys.
Well, no, it's actually true. It's back with math. But
what?
So they got
math?
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
right? So they got that $1,200 from the federal minimum wage. So the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, right? So they said, okay, $7.25 an hour times 80, right, which is 2 weeks technically, and then that's the 2 week check. And let me just double check my math on that real quick.
Here we go. He's got to double check the math.
Yeah, I know, right?
God forbid he's wrong on live Twitch TV.
Yeah,
Rocky.
so it turns out to be $1,160, and that's for a month, right? So and that's not even taxed.
But that's only for 2 weeks, right? Let's be clear.
No, that's a month. That's a month. $7.25 an hour times 80, which is 2 weeks, is like $580 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So
okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, so that's where the government got their money, the monetary value from. Is, hey, okay, what's federal minimum wage? $7.25. Let's times that by 160 hours for a month, and then we won't tax them on that. And a lot of people are saying, how the hell can anybody live on $1,200 a month? I mean, shit, I know I can't live on $1,200 a month. That doesn't even cover my rent. And so it kind of takes into perspective a lot of these people who are essential workers right now, who are forced to work right now, even not even if they're not in the medical field. Let's just say people that work at a grocery store, or people that work in transit or something like that. People that make federally minimum wage, only earning $7.25 an hour. And hey, guess what? They can't lose that job, because if they lose that job, they're screwed. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get unemployment. And who knows? I mean, the unemployment system's already backed up. It's already over almost 30% right now. So, these people are forced into working these jobs where they're putting themselves at risk on a daily basis, just so they can make ends meet. And I think that hopefully should bring light to how disgusting the federal minimum wage is because nobody could live on $7.25 an hour. Nobody could.
Well, since we're gonna, I mean, you said you didn't want to run down that point, but then you ran straight down fucking Main Street with that point. Let's talk about the stipend,
the relief package, the stipend, right, that I was talking about.
Well, let's talk about federal minimum wage then for a moment. So, do you believe that the way to mitigate that, like, what do you think the best way to change that situation is?
Well, a lot of people aren't gonna like this answer.
They don't have to like it. I'm just asking your opinion.
Yeah, government spending is massive, absolutely massive.
Okay.
And it's not just the military, which, I mean, we're both military.
Right.
I'm a veteran myself.
Right.
And the United States government spends so much money on the U.S. military every year. I mean, I think it's estimated $200 billion a year or something like that for the upkeep of the U.S. military, which, I mean, there's a reason why we have, the world's biggest military, and, well, maybe not biggest. I know we have the world's biggest Navy.
We have the world's most effective, expensive, and largest military.
That is true.
We do.
But so I know military spending is justified, but also not justified sometimes.
In what way? In what way is it not justified, in your opinion?
So, well, from my previous experience is I'm from the aviation community.
Let's be honest. He's in the Navy, so has he really been in the military?
So I'm from the aviation community, and don't get me wrong, aviation is expensive regardless if it's the military or private sector, because I've worked in both fields, so it's expensive regardless what sector. It's just the amount of stockpiling and unused equipment, unused helicopters, unused planes, jets, and the amount of waste as well, and pollution in general. I mean, I think it was something about aircraft carriers cost $1 million a day to operate or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just because, you know, you have 5,000 sailors on board, and, you know, you have the food, and don't even get started on the jet fuel costs. I mean, that's insane amounts. And the interesting thing, too, about jets is if they have auxiliary tanks on them, if they're launching or landing on an aircraft carrier, they have to be either completely full or completely empty. You can't even have a pound of fuel in them because the amount of acceleration you have launching off of an aircraft carrier from the catapults or landing and getting caught by the resting gear, you can't have any fuel, or you have to have completely backed out tanks.
Will like vaporize or something?
No,
like, because of the
think
Gs?
about it. Well, think about it. Let's say you know, you have a gallon jug, right?
Real quick, you guys catch that? He told me to like just think about it, like you fucking idiot. Like dude, like think about this fucking aircraft. Like just fucking think about it, you stupid ass. Like how can you not figure it out? It's a fucking airplane, asshole. I don't work on airplanes. I work on people.
Well, okay, so in layman terms, right? Take a empty gallon jug, right?
Okay.
And put a cup of water in it. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna quickly accelerate that jug, and you'll see how hard that water splashes at the top of the jug. Right?
Okay.
Because you have they're two separate masses, right? The fuel isn't attached to the fuel tank, right? It's a liquid, so it can move back and forth. So you have high acceleration forces. You'll have this, you know, fuel that, you know, jet fuel weighs approximately 6.7 or 6.8 pounds per gallon. So let's say you have 100 gallons in there, you know, that's 670 or 80, give or take, pounds of fuel that's accelerating or deaccelerating extremely fast. And the Navy figured this out the hard way when they started ripping off aux tanks on launch and landings.
And people were dying.
And people were dying, yes.
Look at that. See, I knew things.
Yep, and that's where the age-old expression comes from, is if it's written in a publication, then that means it's written in blood, which means someone has died or somebody has gotten injured from it.
Oh.
Because, yes, that's...
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, if pretty much when you see something written in a publication or a specification, we say written in blood, right? Because, you know, if it says like, hey, like, don't do this, right? Like, don't stick your hand in here. I guarantee you the reason why it says don't stick your hand in there is
because a retard stick their hand in there.
Somebody probably stuck their hand in there and it probably got cut off. So
everyone's gonna ignore the fact that I just said sticked their hand in there.
No, I was gonna point it out.
Don't fucking call me out on that shit, asshole.
I was like, all
right?
No, I'm
it's
not
English.
Gonna...
It's not the easiest fucking thing in the world.
I was like, I'm not gonna call him out. But anyways, so back to, you know, what we're talking about, the waste and everything. So if a jet is coming into land, and let's say they have 99%.
Dude, I get it. I get where you're going. They're gonna shit out all the fuel because they can't have it in there because the pilot's gonna die, and pilots are expensive.
Pilots are very expensive. But yeah. So, anyways, back to what we were talking about, the federal minimum wage. Luckily, states dictate minimum wage, not the federal government.
Right.
So I think most states where you have a higher cost of living, the state minimum wage is higher, you know, $8, $9, $10, $11 out here in Oregon.
And did you know that people, I was going to say, to caveat on that as well, not just states, but cities can even go forth. And so a really good example of a city that has an extremely high minimum wage
probably Los Angeles.
Actually is San Francisco.
Really? Yeah, that makes sense.
San Francisco has a ridiculously high minimum wage. Actually, I'd like to Google it, but I'm not going to. Very expensive to work for workers. But the thing is, and this is one of the problems that I have with fixing the problems by applying a high minimum wage. Have you ever gone to lunch in San Francisco?
A long time ago, yes.
A burger is fucking $18.
Yeah, that is very true.
What the fuck?
That's very true.
And it's not like I get it, you know what I mean? Because like the company's got to stay afloat somehow.
Yeah.
So they got to pay for their employees in some kind of way. And I mean, look, I'm no fucking economist or anything like that, but I mean, eventually you got to get tired of fucking paying so much money for people. You know what I mean?
I could definitely see your opinion on that one. Which is, it's duly noted. Because labor is expensive, man.
It's the most expensive thing. Like when you look at any kind of business model, the most expensive single cost
it's definitely labor
is going to be payroll or labor in this case. So
unless you're like a tech company or something like that.
And even then, your employees, your payroll is going to be the most expensive thing, even if you're a tech company. You know what I mean?
Silicone wafers are pretty expensive. I'm talking $400,000 per.
I guess. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying.
This fucking guy just like, look at me, $15.95. Thanks, collabs. Appreciate you. You're the shit. By the way, everyone, that's my fucking wife. So if you disrespect her, I'll just kick you. I mean, I'll ban you immediately because there's no fucking coming back from that shit. So
I will ban you
immediately.
But no, I mean it's definitely the thing is, right, is there's no right answer on how to fix the economy. I mean,
there's always like these are just opinions, and what we're always going to run into is we have the dichotomy of our politics, left and right, and so the right say this, the left say this, and then they're perpetually just going to go with each other, and it's fucking stupid.
But it's not that economies can't be good. It's the U.S. economy is just so far in the shit.
But we're a powerhouse. That's what I struggle with.
No. We're a powerhouse. We're a military powerhouse. We're not an economic powerhouse at all. We are far from it. And
I think you're wrong on that. Our GDP is much higher than the rest of
because we impose tariffs on all other countries, because we control the sea pretty much. That's the only reason we make money. That's the only reason we have money is because of imports and exports. But and that's why back to the whole COVID-19 thing, that's why we're probably going to see a real economic collapse coming soon.
Well, I mean, we're already seeing it.
Yeah, we're already seeing. I mean, our Dow Jones dropped fucking almost 10,000 points.
And I'm not even going to try to act like I know what the fuck that means. I just know when they say the things are going down, it means bad shit for money. Like, that's all I know.
So our Dow Jones, right? What the Dow Jones is
oh, here we go. I'm gonna get learned by a dude with no hair.
But no. So the Dow Jones is pretty much it's like the stable stock, right? So stocks fluctuate up and down. You have stocks from every company, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Tokyo Electron, Intel, right? They have their own stocks, right?
Right.
But and they're all globally shared and everything. But the Dow Jones, right, is kind of like a virtual stock if you think about it. Well, all stocks are virtual, but
it's a fake real stock, a real fake stock.
Yes, and it's tied directly to the U.S. economy, right? So that's why you'll hear Trump. You heard Trump bragging about how the Dow Jones has climbed almost 10% since his presidency, and that normally relates to the economy, right? So if the Dow is really high, that means the economy is strong. That means our money's strong, and we're having good trading and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the past 4 years, I think the Obama administration, after he left office, it was at like 21,000 maybe, I think, something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, sure. It was at a number.
Yeah, it was at a number, right? And so I think around February 25th this year, or earlier than that, the Dow was close to hitting 30,000, right? That was great, right? That's the highest it's ever been. And it started plunging really deep on around like March 1st timeframe is when it started plunging. The lowest it hit was around 18,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is absurd, dude.
Like it's abysmal.
that is insane that it lost that much in that amount of time, right? People were comparing it to the 1983 stock market crash, right, where
Right.
it dropped like 30% or something like that, right, in like a couple of days. And we're starting to see that now. We're starting to see it decline very rapidly, and it's trying to stay stable. When Trump released the
The stimulus
economic relief
package.
plan, yeah, it bumped it up from like 18,000 to like 20. um and yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's been sitting right around 21,000. It'll fluctuate up and down, but if you look at the year to date, the 6 months, let's see, the peak was 29,500, right? And the
Hmm.
lowest it dropped was 18,500, which is pretty crazy
Ridiculous.
to think about, man. And the reason that is, right, is the reason why how China hasn't gotten really hit with economic collapse like we have right now, is because China is they're a manufacturing economy. They export a lot of their stuff. That's how they get most of their money, is by manufacturing and export. Where the United States, we consume. We're a very consumer economy. So
Right.
we go out, we shop, we go to movies, we go to restaurants. We go out drinking. We buy things online, right? The U.S. economy is very fragile in that aspect, and you can see that now, especially with the housing market. Looking at the housing market, how it is right now, mortgages, mortgage rates for new houses are
Yeah. Fuck.
dropping.
I want to refinance. I wish I
Yeah,
could
dude,
refinance right
shit,
now. It would be
right?
the shit. The
But
percentages are so. I wish I could. I wish I could rent my property out right now. Just find someone to rent from me, and then turn around and refi out of my VA loan, and then just go buy a new property right now. I could afford so much
honestly,
more.
you could probably do that, but
Well, the problem is
it's
finding someone to rent for a long period of time.
yeah, that's true, especially where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and and we're a very consumer based economy, which is kind of scary to think about, where most of the US economy, most people make money from jobs, right? That's there's other aspects out there that have trust funds, or
Sure,
invest in
sure, but
stocks or retirement.
most people are laborers. The vast
Yes,
majority of Americans are
the vast
laborers.
majority, yeah, are laborers,
They provide
or
their time. They provide their
yeah,
time for money. It doesn't have to
or
necessarily be physical labor.
yeah, or they work in customer service industries, which goes back to giving their time. And with the quarantines and the stay at home orders, you're seeing a lot of people becoming unemployed. I mean, I bet anybody in this chat right now knows somebody, or they themselves have been affected, or have been laid off.
Right.
I guarantee it, man.
Yeah, it's highly likely. I mean,
I guarantee it. And when you have mass layoffs like this, right, where the unemployment rate is almost hitting 30%, you don't have people going out and buying new houses. You
or
don't have
spending money
people,
at all.
or spending money at all. Yeah, exactly. I mean, shit, barely buying groceries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, and that makes a
And
lot of sense.
yeah, and that's why I really think in the next 2 to 3 weeks, when the economy starts shutting down more, and businesses start shutting down more, as the cases rise, we're gonna really see. There's a lot of people talking that it's not going to be a recession; it's going to be a depression. It's dropping that fast.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, I wish I was smart enough to really understand the ins and outs of this entire situation. But I mean, the reality is, I just fucking don't. One of the
I
things
mean,
that
I want to give like a full, like, I'm not a economist. I'm not in finance. Nothing. I mean,
for anyone that's listening to this, whether live or after this when I post this on YouTube, it the reason why that we call this salty pennies, all right, is this is our 2 cents. Just take it with a grain of salt. We're not fucking experts. We're not here preaching anything. I don't have a degree. Marcus is working on his. We're not here to fucking change the world. We're just bullshitting. That's it. Giving our opinions, our fucking 2 cents on it. So take it for what it's worth.
Sleep?
I slept. I slept and it kicked me out of the server. That was weird.
Oh. But yeah, like, all I'm saying is, like, you know, with the internet, right? The internet is wonderful and horrible at the same time. You have to make sure, you know, where you're getting your information from, correct sources.
Which is fucking, Jesus, to caveat on that real quick, it's fucking impossible, man. I read something, like, so for example, someone told me today, hey, you're out of your house, you're supposed to be wearing a mask. I was like, go fuck yourself, guy. Who the fuck are you? Like, I know it probably is a good idea to be wearing a mask, but like, what the fuck? No one can tell me I have to wear a mask. And I texted my wife and I was like, hey, what's this all about fucking masks and shit? And she's like, she sent me an article real quick that my county, Riverside County, has issued a full, if you're out of your house, you have to wear a mask order. Like, for everyone.
No, yeah, a lot of, even states are starting to do that now.
Why the fuck is it not turning night, bro?
I don't know. I was sleeping, but it didn't work. Whatever, it's going to be daytime soon. But,
okay, whatever. We're not doing it. Fine.
But, yeah, man, I mean, it's, the thing is, right, is, you know, back to what I was saying about the internet is, the internet, you know, is a wonderful and a horrible tool at the same time. You have to pick your sources correctly.
It's not. I don't think it's ever a horrible tool. I think that people. I think that what makes it horrible.
Can we talk about TikTok?
Well, I mean, yeah, dude, but like, I think what makes it fucking horrible is the use case. Like, you have people who are.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh fuck! God damn it! I got a fucking shot. Piece of shit! Get the fuck away from me. Woo! Scary. All right. No. So like the thing is, dude, like if you're a responsible internet user, right? Like how you're saying, the path that you're walking down right now is like, hey, look, don't believe everything you fucking read on the internet. All right.
Yeah.
Because you need to vet these sources and really ask yourself if what they're doing, where they're coming from, is truly
is correct, you know.
Not only correct, but if they're biased in any way. One of my favorite things to tell people when they talk about like online sources and shit, you remember when Pokemon Go was super popular like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was?
Shit's still popular, boy.
Yeah, but it was like super popular.
Yeah.
Like it blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
Dude, some fucking kid was like, yo, check it out, put your phone in the microwave and you'll fucking hatch your eggs. And people were like, oh, dude, that's so good. And then people were blowing up their $1,000 iPhones.
I think just people are stupid.
But that's what I mean. It's like people genuinely are fucking stupid. If you look at the situation and you're like, oh, yeah, they said it would work on the internet, so I did it.
Like, use your own common sense, and
bro,
there's a reason why you have a bunch of gray matter in between. You know,
bro, I'm not sure they have any fucking gray matter at all, dude. I saw this other one just like that, like the whole like use your fucking common sense. The other day on Reddit, I saw someone post. It was a hanger that would go over the plugs of your like the prongs of your plug. To hold your cables.
Yeah, and she fucking put it into the prongs.
Yeah, dude, and you like put the prongs through and hold it against the socket. And I showed it to my wife just to see what she would say. And she like looks at it and kind of like looks at me for a second, and she's like,
yeah, like,
wouldn't you get electrocuted? And I'm like, thank you. That's why I married you, because you're fucking
like not even electrocuted.
Brain.
Like, you would just fry the circuit. Like, it would just fucking. It would be like, nope. Like, nope, ground, nope.
Ground.
Yeah.
It just heat up like a fucking coil and melt the socket.
I think the thing, too, is I'm going to sound like a fucking old boomer right now. But,
oh, God. Oh, no. Someone clip this, bro.
clip. But, no, I mean, fuck, there's just people don't fix shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, in the olden days, right?
Hey, bitch, you better watch who you're talking to right now.
If you had a fucking toaster and it was broken, right? Guess what? You go down to the local repair shop, you pay Jimmy 5 cents, and he fixes it for you.
Damn, 5 cents. Jimmy, you the real MVP, yo!
Or you fucking fix it yourself, right? You figure it out and you fix it yourself.
Right.
Nowadays, You buy a fucking toaster for $5 at Walmart that came from China. It breaks. What do you fucking yeet that bitch out the window? You know what I mean?
Dude, but it comes down to really a change in economy and a change in times. Technology has gotten so cheap that it doesn't make any sense to fucking waste my money and spend $13, $15, $20 to repair the stupid microwave when I can go to the store and buy a brand new one. Oh, I'm at build limit? What the fuck?
The same price. No, I totally understand.
Dude, I'm at build limit? Am I?
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm not. Oh, it's.
But what you need to understand is it's not just, you know, one person thinking like that, right? It's the entire world, pretty much. I mean, yeah, you have, you know, groups and stuff like that, but
the problem
and it's not even people, it's companies, dude.
But it's hard to think. It's hard not to think like that because, like, when you like I said, when you really look at it, if you're a regular person trying to save a buck, it's like, why pay $15, $20 to fix the $19 microwave?
I mean,
whatever. I
totally understand that, and that's, you know, that's definitely kind of what has happened lately. And, you know, back to my boomer sense, is, you know, if you think about it, right, back in the day, right, people would fix anything, right? If they would fix their own cars, they would know how to work on the cars. Bro, you grab any 18-year-old and you tell them to fucking change a tire, they'll be like, no, I have an app for that.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude, if you grabbed an 18-year-old right now and you were like, yo, build me a website, they'd be like, gotcha, bitch. Like, yeah, it's just it's a difference in time. And while I don't advocate at all for people to just forget about where we came from or be okay with not knowing how to work with your hands. Trust me, I'm the first fucking advocate to say, like, get out there, grab some fucking tools, and learn how to fix some shit. Yeah. Because, dude, honestly, like, so here, I have a real world, like, perfect example regarding this situation that just happened, and you already know exactly where I'm going with this, but the reality is, like, my water heater started leaking, and if I didn't have the common sense to sit at the point of fucking leaking and go, well, I have water here. What else is around here? What is in this area that is, you know, that's going to be causing me a leak?
Yeah.
And so because I was like, oh, well, on the other side of this is the water heater. Let me go out and check it. Then I found the leak. And then I started looking, dude, and like average cost in California for a water heater is going to be like $2,000+.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's expensive.
To have a plumber come out and fix it, and not necessarily fix it, but replace it. And replacing is the right thing to do because it was like, I read the sticker on it and it was like, according to 1994 metrics. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is fucking 26 years old. Yeah. So because of that, I was like, you know, I need to go and figure out a replacement situation. Dude, I replaced it for like a total cost of $650, and that was me. That was me, built like doing it myself. I had to buy like, and for any of you that are out there thinking that I'm like some fucking god, I am. But I didn't fucking know how to fucking make this shit, dude. I didn't even know how the fucking shit worked. I was like looking at it, trying to figure out. Like, okay, well, if this is the spot, it's got a drain. If the drain is here, well, fucking... I had to sit down and I really had to figure it out. And I just think that people in general have gotten away from that.
Yeah, and that's definitely, you know, that's definitely happened. I mean, people, they don't have that, you know, I can fix it mentality. They have, oh, well, I make, you know, enough money where I can replace it.
Well, and I think it gets to a point, you'll get to a point in your life where you'll weigh the cost of the replacement versus the time that you have to spend in order to fix it. Because there's going to become a point in time where you feel your time is worth more than it is to jack around with some shit that you don't know how to fix.
Yeah, exactly.
So, or even if you do know how to fix it, you just be like, I'll just call somebody and I don't want to fucking deal with it. So
yeah.
fuck.
I mean, shit, I've even done that before. Like, I know how to fix something, but I was like, fuck this, dude. Like, it's not worth my time. Like,
oh, dude, I absolutely,
you know?
I'm guilty of that as well. I like fixing everything on my cars. That's, everything on my car is possible. But then when the wife's Mercedes transmission went out, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have someone else do this.
I'm not fucking around with this.
Because I got a fucking warranty, dude. Like, and it's like hard to say no to shit like that, nowadays.
That's true. All right, back to coronavirus talk though. That COVID-19.
Your mom's COVID-19.
What the podcast is on.
Man, bitch, podcast is on whatever I fucking want it to be.
You said man, bitch.
Fucking don't care.
Oh shit.
But no, so to your point, yeah, like what I think is interesting about this situation for me personally, just given my background, I mean, I never wanted people to say like, oh, this is nothing, but I also thought that it was not being taken. It was like, it's like we had no fucking middle ground, dude. We had people that were like losing their fucking shit, and I'm like, yo, not that serious. And then we had people that are like, it's a hoax, Wuhan flu, the Kung flu, and it's like, bitch, shut your racist ass up, you stupid fuck.
But, I mean, shit, okay. It even went to an extent where people, I think it's in Britain, I believe, are saying that the COVID-19 is just an excuse to quarantine people because, oh no, the COVID-19 came from 5G cell towers.
Yes, that makes total biological sense.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yep, interesting. And I mean, they believe it, they're sticking to it.
People, that just goes back to what you were saying earlier. The fucking internet can be used for fucking good shit and absolute fucking retards. Because if you look at this situation, how the fuck does that make any kind of goddamn sense? Oh, the fucking internet, 5G microwaves are creating a biological agent that's making you sick.
Yeah, and you're
what?
Like, okay, don't talk to me.
I've seen this before. I've seen you in a movie. I'm supposed to stay away from you because you're a retard. You're gonna die. Yeah. That's exactly how I view that shit.
Exactly. You're like, oh, you're one of them dum-dums, huh?
You're one of the dum-dums. What flavor are you? Cherry?
Yeah.
Fucking retard.
But I think, in my opinion, right, I would much rather have people overreact than underreact to this, right?
Yo, dude, it's kind of tough, man. I don't know if I could really. I don't know if I could get behind that one because look what happens when people overreact. We have stores that can't keep things in stock. Normal people who have to work.
That is true.
They can't get. Bro, the first few weeks when this shit really popped off, my wife and I literally couldn't get groceries. Like normal.
It hasn't popped off yet, dude.
But that. So
no. This is.
I think, dude. I think we're gonna start getting more under control.
I don't know about that, man. We'll see. I hope. I really fucking hope that's the case. But I don't know, dude. Look at the numbers, man. Numbers. That's the one thing. Numbers and math do not lie. Even when you have the government telling you that they're expecting 100,000 deaths in the U.S., and that's best case scenario. That's if everybody just stays the fuck at home and stops going out.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. What I wonder, honestly, is so people keep talking about like, oh, look at the U.S.'s metrics, like the U.S. is handling the coronavirus so poorly, even by comparison to other countries. And one of the things that I'm curious about is it really our handling it that's poor, or are we just better at detecting it than other countries? Because I was reading an article the other day that was showing that China was specifically limiting and stopping the spread of information to.
Dude, China's numbers guarantee it. They're way off.
But that's what I'm saying. So people are looking at our metrics, and we're like, look, this is real. Like, we're able to test for it. And they're like, look how bad you guys are handling it. And it's like, bitch, what? We're just telling you the fucking truth.
Well, so, I mean,
what do you think?
There's still hospitals that are turning people away that are asymptomatic.
Well, they fucking should. Why are you in the hospital if you're asymptomatic? That makes no fucking sense.
I mean, for like testing facilities are turning people away from asymptomatic.
There's no fucking reason. Look,
But,
you're asymptomatic.
Okay, look, so you say there's no reason, right? You say there's no reason to test someone who's
There is no
asymptomatic,
medical.
right?
Check it out. It's very simple. There is no medical reason to test somebody who is currently not showing signs or symptoms of a pandemic when we have a shortage of tests.
That is very true.
Plenty of people who need this to figure out whether or not they are actually at risk. That is the honest to God truth, and there's no way that you can ever change my mind on that. I'm serious, dude, because like people, trust me, dude. For anyone that's watching this that's not aware, I work 911 response. All right, so I have had my fair share of, oh my God, this person does not need to go to the hospital. I had a woman who'd been self-quarantining for 3 weeks. She started to get classic signs of anxiety, carpal pedal spasms, hyperventilation, lightheadedness from obviously hyperventilating, and we transported her to the hospital because she was so scared that it was like she refused to not go, if that makes any sense. She refused to stay home, even though we were like, ma'am, look, you're at high risk for infection, and to take you over to the hospital is like really irresponsible on our part, bad. Because it could result in you getting even more sick, and we really don't want to be. And she literally made us take her, and it's like, I get it to a certain degree. You know, she's fucking freaking out. She's scared. But that person is now taking up a hospital bed. That person is now taking up space. That person is now taking up a test. And when these people take up those things, it prevents other people who actually need it from being able to utilize it and get the help that they need. It's just caveat I see over in the chat, KK Collabs just said that she gave up her test, which is absolutely the case. So she was experiencing signs and symptoms. And let's be honest, at this point, we really don't know if it's coronavirus or just your regular run-of-the-mill influenza.
That's true.
Or the common cold, which is also, some people don't know, a strain of the coronavirus.
Yeah, you don't know what your symptoms are.
Well, we know what the symptoms are. We just don't know what the underlying cause of the symptoms are. So she self-quarantined, did what she's supposed to do. We're doing a really good job taking all the precautions that are necessary. And the doctor or PA that she was speaking with was like, do you want to schedule a time to come in and get tested? And she was like, no, there's no reason. You know, I'm younger, I'm healthier. Until we get to a point where her symptoms are unable to be managed at home, then we have no need to take a test, take up a hospital bed, take up an emergency room bed. There's no reason to do any of that stuff because we're able to take care of her at home. And that's what people need to understand, is if you treat this like a run-of-the-mill influenza flu type, until it gets to a point where you're looking at them and they look like death, and they look like, they're sick.
The testing isn't, you don't have to go to a hospital for testing, right? There's pull-up test spots that's trying to get enacted, right? And that's why I think we really need to focus on the testing, right? Because you say, only test people that are symptomatic, right? Okay, boom, cool. We got all these people that are symptomatic. We tested them. Let's say half of them have COVID-19, right? Half of them don't. Screw these people, right?
Okay.
So now you have, let's just call her Kathy, right?
Okay.
Let's say you have Kathy, right? She's asymptomatic, right?
Okay.
So she has the virus. She's asymptomatic.
So she's a carrier and she's infected.
She's a carrier. She's infected, right?
She's infected. Okay. She's now a transmitter. That's what needs to be understood.
She's a super spreader.
Exactly.
So now she says, okay, well, I'm not showing any symptoms, so I'm not going to get tested. So, like the stupid American I am going to go to church with 100 people.
Well, she's already wrong.
I'm going to go to the beaches.
She's already double wrong.
I'm going to go to the she's completely wrong. But this shit's happening on a daily basis. Do you know 14 states that issued stay-at-home orders waived the orders for churches, dude?
Yeah, well, they're stupid, but that's the problem with the idea.
That's the thing is people are stupid, right? The stay at home and the quarantine shit isn't gonna work.
And so you think that then you think that these types of people, let's analyze it, right? This stupid type of person that you're discussing with me, these people are going to say, oh, you know what? Since I tested positive, I really do need to stay home. Or are they gonna flip it around and go, I tested positive, but I don't feel sick, so they must be wrong. False positive. You see what I mean? It's difficult.
That's why
it's not an easy
martial law,
situation.
dude, lock them down. Arrest them.
And that's the problem, is it'll never work because in America we love our freedoms.
Yeah, but that is true.
We love our freedoms.
Right? You have your freedom and you have stupidity. And
well, and that's
those just
that
go
right
hand
there,
in hand together.
dude. That right there is the age old fight that you have between between the left and the right. Is it's like, how much are we going to allow people to make stupid, dumb decisions on their own, and how much are we going to make the state step in and really make a change here? Because like your typical leftist, Democrat, progressive, they want the state to come in and tell people this is right, this is wrong, you can do, you can't do, right? And a lot of your typical like Republican, I use air quotes around all these labels that people, they fuck the government, I don't need big government, blah blah blah. Ari, they made it a misdemeanor to be out for anything other than work. What about supplies? Can you go get supplies like food and water and shit like that?
Is that out in New York?
I'm not sure. Ari, what state is that? If you don't mind telling us. He's like, bitch, stop trying to dox me live on stream, motherfucker.
Virginia, really? Wow.
Virginia.
Ouch. Well, I mean, it's definitely gonna be, because back to what you're saying, right? Is Americans love our freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in a war, which I'm not saying we're in a war right now, which even though Trump declared he's a wartime president, which Jesus fucking Christ
doesn't make any sense. Who are we at war with?
Doesn't make any sense. But we're at war with an unknown enemy.
Get her done, boys.
Get her done. But the thing is, right? We have what I like to call is an imaginary freedom, right? Because Americans love saying that we're free in the United States. We can say what we want. We can do what we want. We can get what we want. No. Sorry, no. You can pretty much wipe away all your freedoms thanks to, I'd say, around 2001, right, where they enacted the Terrorist Freedom Act, which pretty much states that the U.S. government can identify you as a terrorist or associated with a terrorist. Doesn't matter what type of terrorism, right? People that quote unquote spread the coronavirus purposefully are labeled as terrorists to America, right? Because they are attempting to kill American people by spreading the virus purposefully, right? So there's a guy that was like freaking out at a grocery store and was like spitting on the food and everything like that. And he got arrested and charged with the government. I don't know what the hell happened after that, but I just read the article pretty much saying that he got arrested. So if the government labels you as a terrorist, you have no freedom. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do to you. If you say the wrong thing, the whole freedom of speech shit, you say the wrong thing, you're gone, dude. Like, sorry, there's no coming back from that.
So the problem that I have with what you're saying, dude, is like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, the whole, like, if they label you as a terrorist, they're allowed to take X, Y, and Z actions and yada yada.
Yeah.
So I hear you, but let's be honest. Like, your average American, is that happening?
Average American.
Is that going to happen?
Depends on what they do, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Is your average American, if some dude fucking coughs and whatever, are they really they're gonna look at this guy and go, "You're a terrorist, and we're gonna take you and we're gonna put you in Guantanamo," even though just 3 days ago you were a fucking American citizen?
Probably not, right?
And that's what I'm saying.
However, that's because things are stable right now, right? We aren't digging mass graves. We aren't cremating bodies. People aren't dropping dead in the streets.
Is it really gonna get to that, dude?
I don't know.
I don't see this. I don't see this getting to that point. I mean, I certainly hope not. Anyways, I'm not fucking
not either. But you never know what can happen, dude. I mean, shit. In 2019, I never thought this shit would happen. So it's you know, you never know what can happen. For example, right? Let's see if you know what this quote is from. Right, back to human stupidity.
Your mom.
Let's see if you know what this quote is from.
Was that right?
So a person is smart. All right, one person is smart. People are dumb. Panic and dangerous animals, and you know it.
Man, this guy out here trying to fucking quote MIB Agent K to me,
dude.
trying to think I'm not gonna get it right, bro. Jesus Christ. Right. People are dumb, stupid, panicky animals.
Yes, and
the problem is that quote, though it is from a movie, it perfectly describes people.
It does perfectly describe people, especially in panicky situations, because everybody freaked out, you know, when they heard news. They're like, "Oh my God, there's 10 cases in the United States. Buy all the fucking toilet paper," right?
Buy all the fucking toilet paper.
And like people, because and that's why, right? People, humans are dumb, right? Collectively, we're dumb, right? Because if you see, you know, 10 people rush to the store and buy toilet paper, and then that gets posted online, right? Thank God for social media, right?
Right.
People start sharing that shit with their friends, saying, "Oh, people are buying toilet paper," right? And you go, "Well, fuck, maybe I should buy toilet paper."
Maybe
right?
I should buy some toilet paper.
So then you go to the store, buy a pack of toilet paper. Some lady in line sees you. She says, "Oh, he's buying toilet paper.
Hey, Sonny,
I should buy
why
toilet
are you
paper,
buying
right?"
toilet paper today?
And then 2 days later, before you know it, there's no fucking toilet paper in the store, so I have to wipe my ass with a Kleenex.
Oh, you really? You wiped your ass with a Kleenex? I thought you were just gonna go full Navy.
Full Navy, just smear it everywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were gonna do, dude.
But
80,000 sick in New York City, apparently. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, and that's why I'm saying, man, these numbers are growing exponentially, and
But I'm curious. I really want to know what people like. What does sick constitute as? Because like, let's say what if they say I'm sick? Like, because I don't feel great right now.
In my personal opinion, right?
What the fuck?
When I say sick, when I think like the way this is really gonna fuck over the States, right, is like people that are get hospitalized, right? People that are on critical condition that need immediate medical care, right? That's where we're gonna have like real fucking issues. Because as soon as you start overflowing the hospitals, you know, that's when the real issues are gonna start. Because now you have hospitals that are overflown, and you can't take care of normal people that, you know, everyday sickness, right? Every day, oh, somebody got shot, or, you know, somebody is sick with a flu, or, you know, shit like that.
The reality is that's not entirely accurate. Okay, so I hope that the management of these hospitals is more so on the path of the places that are getting overloaded in the hospitals are going to be like your ICUs, your higher up floors. Your GSWs and your rapid illness, life-threatening stuff is still going to be handled by the ER. So you should be fine when it comes to that.
Tell that to Italy, man. Did you see videos of Italy hospitals? It was
I think
dude.
Italy. This is one of the things that I listened to and I understood about Italy is that from a cultural standpoint and their demographics is in Italy, it's culturally acceptable and it more often than not expected that you live with each each generation of you have like you have your grandparents and then their children and then their children's children and then sometimes even like the great grandkids, and they all live in the same spot. So then back to your point about Karen, the super infector, she walks in and she doesn't even know she has it.
Yeah, and
then
everyone's fucking dead.
Suddenly everyone's sick. Everyone's passing around this mutating crazy organism that's affecting them very, very, very poorly. And
Yeah.
before you know it, the fucking household's dead. And then that happens times every household. And then their hospitals are going, oh, what the fuck? How do we handle this? You know, they just weren't ready.
I mean, our cases are, I mean, even New York, right? Our cases are starting to turn out the same, if not higher, even in New York, man, compared to an entire country. When it comes to new cases per day.
Yeah, but the problem with that too is you're talking about an issue of scale. When you look at the United States as a scale compared to Italy, what the fuck? Italy's the size of fucking New York Island. I know that's not true. I know that's not true, but
no, but check it, right? The scale, right? You bring in a scale, and that's why they adjusted for scale. It's called the growth rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's per capita of how many people in the state and the percentage of how many people are infected or how many new people are infected, right? And our growth rate in the United States is absurd.
So do you think that goes back to the original statement where we were talking about the idea that some places are experiencing or that we're able to test for it more effectively so we know when people have it versus like other areas where it's like we're not even testing for it anymore because everybody has it?
I mean,
you know what I mean? You get the reason for my question?
Yeah, I get your question. It's you know, it definitely goes back to testing, and that's the thing too, is because right with testing, you have people that are not symptomatic, right, asymptomatic, and yet they're spreading this around more and more. So I mean, shit, dude, we could be 2 weeks behind on our numbers, and we don't even know, you know.
No, that's absolutely true. I completely understand where you're coming from with that.
And so it's just
bitch ass.
That's the scariest part about this is the incubation period.
Stupid bitch.
But
you're in incubation period.
Yeah, 9,607 deaths so far in the U.S. But it's just our growth rate, and the scary thing too is, right, with all these other countries, there was one centralized hotspot, right, and in the United States, we got multiple hotspots.
Yeah, but that's the problem is we have high traffic. God damn it. We have high travel areas. You know, like Los Angeles, a main hub. New York, main East Coast hub. So
in Spain, all you got is Barcelona. You know.
That didn't make any sense, but that's okay.
Barcelona, Spain.
You're Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah. But no, I mean, we'll see, dude. We'll see. Fuck.
So my take on this shit, honestly, is I think this shows us exactly how fragile and kind of, I don't want to say superfluous, but like we're such a foofy generation. Like the way that people live their lives in this day and age is so foofy in comparison to everything else that we've seen. And it, to me, it shows like, hey guys, like fucking look at what really matters. Look around you and see what really matters in your life. Because we have these situations where, like, dude, like, grandma and grandpa might not come back from the hospital, you know? And now you're looking at it going, shit, how much time did I spend with them? Yeah. How much time did I spend with my family? Like, one thing, my wife really harped on me because, dude, I'll work 96 hours in a week. Like, no problem. I'll fucking do that because I need to provide for my family. But my wife, I think the thing that was like the catalyst for this was the Kobe Bryant situation. When he died, you know, my wife was like, hey, this is a good example of someone who was like always going for it, and now his family doesn't have him. And so I think this really drives that idea home of just like, look, guys, pay attention. What's important to you. Look at what's important in your life, and try to remember also that we're strong as a people. not only America, but as humans, we can get over this. We can get through this. We really can.
Yeah.
I really hope that people can realize that and remember it, because it's true. It's not easy, you know what I mean? It's like it's not going to be, oh, tomorrow we're going to have a vaccine. No, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. But I just think it shows really how far, it's strange how far we've come as a society, and it kind of shows us at the same time maybe we should look at where we've been and kind of ask ourselves the progress that we've made and the things that we've done, how is that affecting us in the long run? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense.
Something else that I think is interesting is the change in infrastructure. So something that I see immediately, in comparison to pre-COVID-19 days, the ERs are not nearly as full as they usually are. And this is one thing that I find very interesting, because does that mean that there are less emergencies overall? Perhaps, maybe less people out on the roads and stuff. But something I find very interesting is that people aren't calling 911 nearly as much. I think it's interesting to see that I'm just not responding as much as I used to, and people aren't going as much. They call and like my stomach hurts or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, your stomach hurts, but do you really want to spend the time to go over to the hospital with everything that's going on? And most people are like, no, never mind, it's not an emergency.
Yeah, because it's so expensive.
What do you mean? That doesn't stop them normally.
No, the reason why people don't go to the hospital as much is because they don't want to pay $5,000 just to fucking be like, oh yeah, you have a cold.
Completely incorrect. I'm sorry, but take it from ground zero. Take it from the guy that does this for a fucking living. Completely incorrect. I have taken people to the hospital, to the ER, in an ambulance because they were cold.
Well, they probably had really good insurance, so.
No. They had Medi-Cal.
Ew.
Because they know that Medi-Cal is going to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's one thing, too, that, like, dude, when people talk about this COVID-19 shit, they talk about universal health care and shit like that. And, dude, I'm not sure that's going to work, man. Like, I get, the burn man's plan of taxing the rich, which, hey man, I'm all for that. If you make a certain amount of money, like, I'm sure that you can handle paying a couple extra percentage. I think that the inverse curve that we have going on, where me, the working man, making $14 an hour to fucking save lives on an ambulance, is paying somewhere in the 40s percentage wise for taxes. Maybe I should be paying 15%, and you, who's making billions, can be paying 40%.
Yeah. Or, I mean, don't even get me started with fucking companies in the States, like Amazon.
Dude, offshore holdings,
offshore bank accounts,
and getting
$0 in taxes.
Yeah, getting around taxes. That's the real fucking, like...
Boeing is the same, too.
Dude, I don't understand how that's even legal. Like, I don't understand.
We're getting fucked on our flights. Can you bail us out, please, Uwu?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that legitimately doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes absolutely no sense, man. But it does make sense. You want to know why it makes sense?
Oh, here we go. Here come. Ready? Everyone, get your tinfoil hats on. Here it comes.
Because guess who has their hands in their pockets, or who has their...
What are you
money
saying? What are you saying?
I'm trying to say the fucking corporations have their hands in the government's pockets.
No,
or the other way around. The government has the corporation in their hands.
No. Okay. So the corporation has politicians in their pockets.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I know. You're welcome, buddy.
Yep, that's what I was trying to say. So, yeah. And if you think I'm wrong, You can fuck off.
Let's go, guys. Fight him.
You can look at the.
Just look it up, bro. Just look it up, bro.
No, read the stimulus package. There you go. If you want fucking evidence about how our corporations have their fucking greedy little hands in the government, look at the stimulus package. Look at where the money goes in the stimulus package. Because guess what? That stimulus package, it ain't for us.
See, that's one thing
really,
one thing that I find
it's not
really
for us.
So that's one thing that I find really difficult is like I'm not saying that you're wrong, okay? But how the fuck am I, just a normal ass dude, gonna read that shit? You know what I mean?
So that's the wonderful thing about the government, in America at least, is that bills and laws have to be publicly accessible.
Yeah, bro, I get what
like
you're
130
saying.
pages.
That's exactly where my point is. Like, how am I supposed to read over 100 pages of fucking legal jargon of shit that I just, dude, let me be honest, I don't fucking understand. Like, I'm not, and it doesn't make it doesn't make me less of a fucking person. I just don't have a law degree. I don't have this, like, I'm reading this shit and they're just using verbiage ad ipsum locutore, and then I'm like, what? Did you just use Latin?
A lot of shit doesn't make sense. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. A lot of shit doesn't make sense.
And so if that's the case, how are you even supposed to make an educated decision on it?
When you have the breakdown of where the money is going in these bills, considering it literally breaks it down to the, not to the cent, but pretty close, it's easy to see, right? You have private sectors, businesses, stuff like that. But and with the wonderful thing on the internet as well, you can have people who are educated in this read this document and type up a synapse for you, and you read that synapse.
Yeah, but now we have to trust the person that's doing the synapse.
This is very true. That's why you just cross-reference things.
Oh, now I have to read. Now I have to read 13 synapses, the original document. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Is it gets fucking insane? Like, dude, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just an EMT.
But that's
I'm just
how
a
the
normal
government
dude.
gets you, dude. That's how the government passes these bullshit bills.
And that's
how they slide shit in, dude.
I get what you mean. But I don't see a solution. I don't see how you're gonna tell me that this is all gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like you're telling me, like, oh, well, the simple answer is read the bills before they're passed. Okay, hang on, pause. So I go out, I read the bill, right? And I say, you know what, this is horse shit. And I talk to my 3 fucking viewers on Twitch right now. And I go, hey, guys, check it out. The real deal about the stimulus package, it's all a fucking hoax. And it's all about, and then guess what? People are calling me the fucking, who's that big fat dude that goes on Joe Rogan, Alex, whatever. Oh, and I'm like, you're gonna understand. They're gonna inject the cows, and the cows are gonna make a fucking human baby, and then the money is used, and then the frogs are gay, and then they're coming from Saturn, and it's like, whoa, hang on. Then I start sounding like that guy, because I read the bills, and people don't want to listen to me.
And that's understandable, right? Which is really unfortunate, because that's the mindset of people, right? Is, oh, the government must be doing it right. You know what I mean? They're in charge, so they must be allocating the money correctly, right? But you got to think about it, dude. There's a reason why we have the Second Amendment, my dude. There's a reason why we have the right to bear arms.
And why these fucking liberals trying to take it from us all day? Come on, liberals. We're on your side.
Yeah, it's like people who want gun control, they don't want gun control to, like, just have a gun and shoot people. Like, that's not why. Law-abiding citizens who want to have the ability to bear arms wants that right for a reason, because of government tyranny, right?
Because I want to shoot shit, boy.
Yeah, I want to make shit blow up.
Blow it up, boy. I tell you
like
what.
A book. Yeah, so I just looked it up. It's actually 880 pages. I did not read the entire thing.
That's exactly what I mean.
Admit that. Yeah.
Because I knew that you were lying when you said, "Oh, it's only fucking 100 or whatever pages." There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that's way too long. But the thing is right.
Yo, I just made a stack of lanterns. Are you jealous or what?
Ooh, nice. The reason why, the Second Amendment was created in the first place is because when we colonized the states, right, we were like, hey, remember when we tried to set up our own government?
Remember when that asshole tried to kill us all?
Yeah, and the British was like, nah, that's not happening. You have to pay more taxes. And
hey, we want to be free. Nah, more money.
yeah, no, that's literally what happened. Like,
really, take me to school again, Marcus, please.
I'm saying, I mean, shit, dude. A lot of these fucking kids nowadays, bro.
Yo, the Tea Party didn't even happen, bro.
Say what? Hashtag Tea Party?
The Tea Party
But,
movement? I'm not voting for them. I'll take too many votes away from the Democrats, man.
But no, I mean, that's literally the reason is, I mean, shit, because of taxes. Honestly, the British were taxing the colonizers.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
that's insane.
Like,
that's how the United States started.
Like the difference between the Americans now and the Americans back then. Like,
dude, the Americans now are fucking
like
whack.
Nowadays, hey bro, I'm gonna wear a pussy on my head and I'm gonna go march because there's a really bad article written about like how women make less money than men, even though all they did was take women and then men and they added how much they make and then they compared them directly over a fraction, and it's really didn't even consider that there are a lot of women that stay at home, don't make any money, so like they really the actual gap is more like 5 cents per hour, which, let's be honest, it's because men are more willing to fucking kill themselves at work and women are more likely to take days off, you know,
and we're more likely to die on the job as well.
Bingo, because we work more fucking hard-ass jobs.
Yep, that is true. That's statistics, ladies and gentlemen.
So that right there is how the average American is now. And then you go back, and the average American back then was like, you want an extra penny for every tea bag? I'm starting a new country. Fuck you.
I'm sorry.
And then they did it. And then they did it. They didn't.
They did it.
They didn't just fucking like, oh, we're gonna
just post it on
Facebook and yeah, exactly. They were
like,
it.
oh, redcoats. Oh, you want to charge me $1 for my land?
How about I shoot you?
Here's a gun. Yeah, how about I shoot you? That's literally like, that was like how the states were started. They were like, oh, no, we're not having this. We're gonna start a new state. If you don't like it, fight us. Oh, you want to fight us? Okay, we're gonna kill you.
We're gonna kill you. Exactly.
And then we're gonna dump all your piece of shit British tea in the fucking harbor, bitch.
Yeah, America. Drink a lager.
Drink tea with milk here.
What the fuck? Why? How did you spawn here, you bitch?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I don't know, man. There's a lot of things happening in the world, and I mean, we're just two people that don't know shit about anything, to be honest. So.
Goddamn right, I know shit. That's the way I like it, man. I can say whatever I want,
yeah.
and if anyone says, "Hey, man, that's wrong," I'd be like, "Guess what, bro?
Like, guess what, dude? I don't have a degree or anything, man. Like,
I don't know anything.
Not I'm sorry.
All right, dude.
I'm not a subject matter expert, dude.
So we have 8 minutes to wrap this up.
All right, 8 minutes to wrap this up.
It's an hour and a half. I think an hour and a half is pretty good for like our first like initial podcast.
Yeah, that's a pretty long one.
So, final thoughts: coronavirus, how the world is handling it, and how the United States is handling it.
Oof. 8 minutes, huh? All right. Let's see. So I think when it comes humanity-wise, I think people are handling it very well. There's a lot of communities that are, helping out. There's a lot of people that are helping out, whether that be donating food or, and this is just in the U.S. because, I live here. So, but
what? You mean you can't comment on Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, no,
you cisgendered pig.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, I mean, I feel like we are being there for each other, which is good, and we're being responsible-ish. But the humanity and empathy is definitely there. You're about to die. The humanity and empathy is definitely there, but
I got lost in my fucking elevator.
The stupidity is also there as well.
For sure.
And that's the thing too, is that's the thing I really worry about the most, is the people who refuse to think that, I'll just fucking go out, I'll go shopping, I'll go hang out. Like, I took my my motorcycle for a ride today because it's beautiful weather, And
the one day in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I know, right? And I was actually really surprised about how many people were out in large groups. I mean, people were playing soccer together. It was like a normal Sunday. You know, there were a bunch of people by the waterfront hanging out. And it's just like,
I don't think
okay,
people actually care, dude.
Yeah, people don't care, but because they're not getting affected by it yet, right?
Yet. Keyword yet, motherfuckers.
Keyword is yet, and that's the thing is people aren't getting affected, and so that's the mentality, right? Is that everybody is in that mentality right now. Well, oh, it hasn't affected me yet, so I don't need to change anything, right? I'm not sick. I don't know anybody that's sick, so
It must not be real.
Anything. It must not be real, right? But oh, you'll fucking pray to a god, but yeah, you'll go to church every Sunday, but God forbid. But
what? Did you just do that? Oh my god.
What?
You'll pray to a god, but when something's in your face killing you, you don't believe in it.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
There's some faith for you right there. But no, it's not until these stupid people, in my opinion, start dying or start getting affected or getting sick by the virus that they're gonna be like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have thrown that fucking party with 100 people. Right. You know, oh damn, that was clutch, dude. And you know, and that's the issue is, you know, even people saying like there's a plethora of videos online from people that have been affected. There's a video online that this mom and her kids had to say goodbye to her husband via walkie-talkie in the hospital, dude.
It's so sad, dude. It's so sad.
Like, when you see that shit because of this virus, and you see some dude just, you know, fucking hanging out at the park with 5 of his buddies, like, that could be you. That could be your mom. That could be your dad, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
That's a good way to fucking put it. That's a really good way to put it.
Is it that hard of a thing to do to not hang out with friends for 2 weeks?
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
I get it. Some people get really affected by that, right? I totally get that. But if you're gonna hang out with people, do it smartly.
The problem is The problem is that those people who really get affected by it, I don't care about those people because they're soft, weak, stupid human beings. If you're telling me honestly that you can't sit down for fucking 10 fucking minutes and say, you know what, I really shouldn't be out here. I really shouldn't be out here doing this shit. I really shouldn't be. And if you're telling me that you can't, in your own heart, look at everything else going on and say, you know what, I am going to put everybody I know that I come in contact with at risk because I'm a weak, pathetic human being that can't sit inside and watch Netflix, do some fucking push-ups, do things that to really keep yourself occupied for fucking a few weeks.
And I want to be very clear here. I'm not talking about the people that have to go to work. Right, I'm not talking about that.
Right.
That is not the truth, especially, you know, people that are in poverty that have to go to work. I'm not talking about.
We don't. They don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, they don't have a choice. I'm talking about the idiots that they aren't working because their company, you know, put them on furlough leave or some shit like that, right?
Right.
And they say, oh, you know what? This is a great time to take a vacation, to fucking go to the beach and hang out at the beach with 1,000 other people, right? These are the people I'm talking about. The people that are
Florida spring breakers.
Yeah. Florida spring breakers. There you go. Or that fucking college party that was thrown, right? These are the people that I'm talking about that it's not going to hit them until it's too late. You know what I mean? It's they're going to be like, oh, like that one kid that was saying, you know, I don't give a shit if I get the coronavirus. You know, I'm young.
Yo, what about that guy that licked the toilet seat and then fucking got it?
Yeah, bro.
What a dumb shit.
What a dumbass. Like, and that's the thing is, what the thing that people need to understand is, you're not the only one that's going to get infected, right? You're not the only one that gets affected by it as well, right? Let's say, you know, you're one of these fucking dumb college kids down in Florida partying it. Guess what? You got the virus, right? You fucking ate some chick's booty hole and you got the virus, right?
That's called hepatitis, everyone. Don't get it with coronavirus.
Yeah, no, it's the fucking double strain, dude. Hepatitis coronavirus, boom.
Hepavirus.
Hepavirus, dude. That Hepa19.
19.
But no, so so you get the virus, right? You go home, right? Back to home, because guess what? You're a college kid. College is closed. You don't have a job. Where are you gonna live? Fucking rent free, right? Your parents' house.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So you say, hey, mom, I lost my job, right? Or I don't have a job. College is closed. I'm coming back home. Okay, sweetie, sounds good, right? But little does she know, you ate fucking Veronica's booty hole.
Damn, Veronica, you lucky.
Guess what? Now, you have coronavirus. You go home. Guess
Mom,
what? You spread
mom's
that
got
shit.
it.
Mom's got it.
She dies.
Your mom already had underlying health problems. Let's
CHF.
say, maybe not.
CHF,
right?
congestive heart failure.
Yeah, right. So your mom get it, right? Boom. She's not feeling too great, right? But she's still going to church, praising the Lord.
Church.
Praising the Lord, right? Guess what? Your dad gets it too, right? Your dad, unfortunately, he has to work down at the mill or some shit, right?
Look at this guy, dude. He's just gonna boom, 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 one after the other, and everyone's gonna die. At the end of this tinfoil hat talk, everyone's gonna be dead.
Yep. And that's the thing, right? Is you have one idiot college student that ate Veronica's booty hole, and he is responsible for upwards of 100 or 200 or 300 deaths. And that's best case scenario.
And really, that's Veronica's booty hole. Let's be honest.
So Veronica should
Veronica's
not have
booty
gotten her
hole.
eaten.
If she wasn't so horny at that Florida spring break party, we wouldn't have coronavirus. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first. But and oh damn, and that's the thing, man. Is you don't think you're affecting anybody by going out, and that's another thing too. Is the thing that makes it so scary is that you can spread the virus without showing symptoms.
Yeah, that was one of the things, because I was considering going to visit my old man.
And you're like, is it worth it?
Well, and I was just like, look, like I told him, I was like, look, guys, I'm trying to think about what's best for not only you, like, as my family, but like what's best, like, for me to do as a person. And I don't think the right thing for me to do is to fucking come out here and travel right now. And so we ended up postponing everything.
Yeah.
So I think so. For me personally, like closing thoughts on this whole situation. Look, guys, I get it. If you want to be out there with friends, and I can understand that, you want to spend time with people, and you want to spend time with your homies and your homettes. I don't know what the female version of homie is, but I get it. Okay. But is it really all that worth it? Like, come on, we're trying to combat a pandemic here. And if you can't see that, if you can't understand where we're all coming from and why we are all attacking this so seriously, I just don't think that you really should be out and about. If you can't understand it, just stay home. That's the easiest thing. That's the easiest thing for you to do. And if you're still having doubts as to whether or not this thing is real, fuck. Let me tell you honestly.
You could have placed a water bucket down.
I threw it. I was right clicking. It didn't fucking work. I did it like 6 times before that. So if you let me be the first to tell you, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen 60, 70 something year old people not being able to breathe. And I have to wear my full mask, a gown, everything. I'm wearing it all. And I touch their head, and they're fucking sick as a dog. They're febrile as shit. I can tell, like, that's coronavirus. That's what it is. People are getting very, very sick from this pandemic. So, first of all, it is real. It is happening. But if you're one of those people that no matter what anyone says, you're not going to believe it because hillbilly. What's the worst thing that happens by you staying home?
Exactly, man.
What's the worst?
Exactly.
You get time off with your family. And like I get it, if you can't work, that's scary. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be worried about not being able to pay the bills. Not a single person. But guys, like, be smart about how you're doing this.
It's very true, man.
Don't be going out there and jumping into spring break mode and doing all this shit just because you can. Like, stay home, visit with your friends via Skype, Snapchat, play online games. I don't know what girls do, but do that. do your makeup live with each other. If that's such a, like, would that be considered sexist?
Yeah, technically.
But I mean, is it like, it's not a safe assumption that like most females like makeup? That's not safe.
Talking statistically, yes.
So,
but you're gonna have that one fucking dependopotamus out there.
It's a dependopotamus.
Feminist dependopotamus.
Oh, it's a feminist dependopotamus. That's the worst.
Feminist dependopotamus.
Yo, dude.
That's gonna be like, I hate
Casino Rock. Thank you. No, go ahead. Keep screaming.
But no, I mean, to wrap up what you were saying, so we can wrap up the stream. I mean, I definitely agree with you, man. Every time I think about going, out of my house, I pretty much categorize. I say, is it essential, right? Do I need this item, right? Do I need to go out of my house if I'm going shopping, right?
Right.
Do I need this item? Is it essential?
Food.
Food, right? Which is essential. Second thing, right? If I'm gonna go shopping, am I prepared to go shopping, right? Do I have
a list?
Right? Do I have protective equipment as well, right? Do I have, dude, honestly, man, if you guys have gone grocery shopping with a mask and gloves and people look at you weird or they say some shit,
nobody's looking at anybody weird, yo.
Yeah.
Everywhere I'm at, people are wearing fucking masks, gloves.
Yeah, same here. But I'm just saying, right? Let's just say you're in a state of some shit where people give you the fucking weird eye. Damn, you fucking suck at that.
That was weird. I hit the water, but then like.
But sorry. Back to what I was saying. But
yeah.
If people were fucking giving you a weird eye or whatever, fuck them, right? Who gives a shit? You're protecting yourself, and shit, you may even be protecting them without even knowing it.
Fuck them. You take them in the back. You take them in the bathroom. You ask politely for consent, and you fuck them.
But right. So just make sure if you go out, it's for essential items or business only, right? If you're grocery shopping, make sure you're just be smart about it. Shit, that's the best advice I can give, is just be smart, dude. Like, that's probably the underlying issue with a lot of the things we're having right now is people aren't being smart about shit. They're either overreacting or underreacting.
But that's dude, that's the thing with fucking people in general, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
So, I mean, I was just gonna say something that you reminded me about that I really wanted to harp on. Fuck, I stopped counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What are you building? Oh, you building my farm?
6, 7, 8. Bitch,
that's a shitty farm.
You better take that fucking back. It's made of glass. It's a great farm. So, anyways, something that I wanted to.
Got one level.
Something that I wanted to talk about. What the fuck? I have to build the first level first. You fucking asshole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So, something I wanted to talk about is if you're wearing masks, okay, I know that not everyone can get respirators, okay? But those, like, surgical masks, and those are the masks that, they just like are paper, and they just have ear loops, right? Just like very simple surgical masks. Those are designed to keep things from going from you to the environment, okay? Now, if you don't have anything, like, I don't think that the surgical mask is the best thing for you to do. There's actually a product called a shop towel. They're these blue, kind of thick, kind of like, I guess you could call them like terry towels, terry cloths, things like that. And apparently they do a really good job of filtering out nasties.
We actually used to use tech wipes. Yeah, we called them tech wipes.
Yeah.
In the Navy. And when we, I don't want to say this wrong because might get the Navy in trouble.
Here we go.
But yeah, we would take tech wipes and tie them around our face like bandanas, and
for when you ran out of masks because supply wasn't keeping shit up.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how well it worked.
It doesn't take a fucking retard to figure it out, bro.
I don't know how well it worked, but
that's that's the thing.
Fumes,
what I know for sure is that the surgical mask isn't protecting you from anything. Okay?
Yeah,
that's what I know.
Yeah.
Okay, and so if you are running out of masks or if you need something, I know you can make terry cloth. You can use terry cloths to make masks, and you can find them at AutoZone, Napa Auto Parts, places that people probably aren't going to be shopping at like crazy. Now, something else that I see people doing that I really would like to harp on for a moment is fucking wearing gloves while you're driving. Misuse of gloves. Like
misuse of gloves, dude.
So
that's
check it out, guys. If you're driving, okay, if you're using gloves, right? So you put your gloves on when you get home, when you're leaving your house. You have clean gloves and clean hands and clean body because you're leaving your house. We're assuming that you shower. You're not a nasty fuck. Okay? So now you go out and you get into the store, right? And you start touching everything. So now you're what we would call dirty, right? You have dirty gloves, you have dirty things on your clothes, right? Then you go back into your car and you start going beep, 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 and touching everything, right? I know about infinite water. Thank you, guys. I just have the buckets, so I just figured I'd bring them with me. Anyways, so then you start touching everything in your car. Now your car is dirty. But then you take your gloves off and you take your mask off, and that has given you this ultra false sense of security where you now think that you can go back in your car with your gloves on and you're going to be fine. But the problem is that you get back in your car or you touch your keys or whatever because you've been gloved up and you you turn off your ignition lock and then you get out and you walk away, right? Your keys are now dirty, if you will, and you have and then the next time you get in your car, you touch it with your bare hands, and now you've got it on your hands. So the proper way to use gloves, okay? You get a little waste bin to put it inside your car. Put your box of gloves, keep it right there, and get a thing of alcohol-based sanitizer wipes, okay? So what you're gonna do is, take your hand sanitizer wipes. You're gonna wipe your hands. You're gonna wipe your steering wheel, your keys, your indicator stalks, your gear shift, or your drive select if you have the Prindle. You're gonna wipe down your car handles and things like that. So now your hands are clean and all your surfaces are clean, your major surfaces that you touch. Then you go throw everything out, and then you're gonna throw everything away in your little waste bin. Then you're gonna get to your destination. You're gonna take your gloves, you're gonna put them on. You're gonna walk away, and you're gonna get your stuff. Now your gloves are gonna be dirty. You'll go to the back, you'll put your groceries in the back of your car, open up your door. Now inside is clean, your gloves are dirty. Doff your gloves by peeling them up, right? And then holding it in your other gloved hand, getting underneath, peeling it up, right? And now you make this little trash baggie of glove nastiness, and you throw that away. Then, Jesus Christ, I fucking DC'd, guys. Then
that was my bad.
It's all good. Then you'll have a dirty waste bin, and your entire area is clean, and your hands are clean. That's how you should do it. And by the way, it doesn't hurt to fucking sanitize your hands after you take your gloves off. That's the proper way to do it. I see people driving around in their cars with their masks on and with their gloves on, and that's not good technique.
Yeah, right? It's definitely misuse of proper PPE, and I think the thing is too, people don't really understand it as much as they should, because we both come from backgrounds where we understand what PPE is.
Right. People don't even know what fucking PPE stands for.
They don't even understand how to properly use it, right?
PP erect?
PP erect. But and I think that's the thing too, right? Even with the government, telling people, hey, this is, wear gloves and a mask, right? And the CDC has, guidelines and everything. But is that gonna be a problem? The frost?
I can fix it. It's not that hard.
But and that's the thing is we know how to properly use PPE because we've been in fields where you have to wear PPE and you have to understand how to use it properly. But you have a lot of civilians and a lot of people who don't understand how to properly use PPE. Like, goddamn, dude, I almost lost my shit on this lady at the grocery store today, dude. So she had a face mask on, right? Cool, good to go.
What kind? Like a surgical mask or what?
No, it's a cloth one, which is better than nothing. Cloth
yeah, so she worked something. She worked with what she has. Copy.
She has gloves on, right? They look like nitro gloves. They were the thin ones, but she has gloves and mask. I was like, all right, cool, right? She's got PPE. She knows what she's doing, right? So shopping around and kind of looking at her, right? Not like she was kind of cute. But...
You were looking at her like a goon. Don't even lie.
She is kind of cute. But anyways, right? So she's texting her on her phone with her gloves on after she's touching everything in the fucking store. Touching. Oh, this is even the worst part, right? Touching like her shopping cart and everything, right? Touching everything, touching the fucking keypad and everything. So she's texting, right? And then she gets a phone call, grabs her mask with her gloves on, pulls off her mask, touches her fucking face with the gloves and her phone next to her goddamn mouth. I was like,
dude, I love it. I love it, dude.
Yo, you gon' die. Like,
you're gonna die.
Like, that's not how you use that. And that's misappropriation of how to use proper PPE. And I guarantee you she's not the only one doing that, dude. Guarantee it.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right that she's not the only one.
And it's just like, for fuck's sake, like.
So.
Out in Brazil, really?
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine because at least in our country, like, no offense, but like, the distribution of information is better.
Yeah.
At least I think. I mean, that's a pretty grand assumption.
Yeah.
Is it really?
But
it's like fucking meme.
I saw this picture from India that actually was kind of not laughable, but it was kind of disheartening at the same time. But pretty much, right? These people had to queue in line for like a grocery store to get like groceries or some shit, right?
Okay.
So what India did was the Indian government set up squares for people to queue in, right?
Okay.
So they were 6 feet apart, or 2 meters apart, and they set up these areas so people would stand in these. Yeah, people would stand in these boxes to make sure.
Boxes.
Pretty much, it was standing in these boxes to make sure they were further enough apart. So these motherfuckers got their shopping bags, put them in the boxes, and then all sat down next to each other in the shade.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh no, dude, criticize everything, man. That's the whole point of this channel. That's the whole point of Saltie Pennies, is for your own opinions. That's what Saltie Pennies means, man.
Bitch, don't fucking tell people what the hell my channel is for. All right, dude, don't fucking listen to this guy. But basically, yeah, he's exactly right. Like, I don't give a shit. Just like, try to make sure that where you're coming from makes some kind of sense. Don't be just spouting off wild ass shit that does. Spouting misinformation is different than having an opinion on something.
That is very true.
Feel me?
But I mean, the U.S. isn't as great as people think it is. Let's just put it that way.
Whoa.
But
Whoa. Did you just have an opinion?
Yeah, I know, right? But I mean that the picture from India, I was like, God damn, like, but we'll see how this all turns out, dude.
It won't. We're all gonna die.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, eventually, right?
Eventually, yeah, we're all gonna die.
Alrighty.
But
Well, so I mean, dude,
how long?
I think we're about done. I mean, we're going on 1 hour and 49 minutes, and I was trying to end it about 20 minutes ago. But so
we should probably.
The reality is, dude, this was a good talk, and if you guys enjoyed the talk, please consider following this channel, both on Twitch and YouTube, for more talks like this. This isn't thanks for the follow, buddy. I appreciate you. We are definitely not. This is definitely not going to be the first thing or the last time we talk about something like this. I don't know how many more times we're going to talk about coronavirus and things like that. I mean, it's going to stay a hot topic for a while, which I mean it's fine to a certain degree, but we're here because Saltie Pennies is supposed to be about people, or basically. The tagline is, here's my 2 cents, take it with a grain of salt. Because I'm not a fucking expert, I'm just a dude with an opinion. I've got some decent experience under my belt with certain things and no experience under my belt with others. And I like to talk to people who have experiences that are different than mine, because that's how I form good opinions, is by being informed and listening to what other people have to say. And, yeah. So just remember that. It's just my 2 cents. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not an expert, and I never claim to be. So with that being said, I think that this is a good stopping point for this stream. If you're kind of in here late, and we've been streaming for almost 2 hours now. I try to do these as much as I can. These shows can kind of go, a week or two between. And that's just because of my work schedule as an EMT. I really don't have much choice in that aspect, in that regard. But yeah. So stay salty. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Deuces.